Picture this, -50 degrees Celsius. Winds so brutal, they'd strip the skin off your face in minutes. 6 months of darkness where the sun doesn't even bother to show up. This is the Arctic, the most hostile arena on planet Earth. And yet, life doesn't just survive here, it absolutely thrives. Today, we're ranking the 6 most incredible animals that call this frozen hellscape home. From the speed demon that outruns predators at 60 kilometers per hour to the apex predator that rules the ice with an iron paw. These aren't just survivors, they're warriors, gladiators, the toughest athletes nature has ever produced. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the Arctic the same way again. We're starting with nature's snowball with rocket boosters. The Arctic hare is not your backyard bunny. This thing is massive. We're talking about hares that can weigh up to 7 kilograms. That's twice the size of a regular rabbit. And unlike their southern cousins who panic at the slightest noise, Arctic hares are stone-cold survivors. Their superpower? Speed and adaptation. These hares can hit 60 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a grizzly bear, faster than a wolf. When a predator comes calling, the Arctic hare doesn't hide. It doesn't freeze. It just explodes into motion like a white blur across the tundra. But speed is only half the story. Arctic hares are masters of disguise. In winter, their fur is pure white, making them basically invisible against the snow. Come summer, boom, they molt into a brownish-gray coat that blends perfectly with the rocky tundra. It's like having a wardrobe that automatically updates based on the season. And here's something most people don't know. Arctic hares don't live alone. They gather in groups, sometimes hundreds strong. Imagine scanning the Arctic landscape and suddenly seeing a massive congregation of these white giants, all standing on their hind legs, looking like a furry surveillance team. The Arctic hare proves that in the frozen north, you don't need claws or fangs to survive. Sometimes, you just need to be faster than everything trying to eat you. Now we're entering heavy hitter territory. Reindeer or caribou if you're in North America. And right off the bat, let me blow your mind with something. Both male and female reindeer grow antlers. They're the only deer species where females rock their headgear too. Why? Because in the Arctic you need every advantage you can get. And antlers aren't just for fighting, they're snow shovels. Females use them to dig through snow to find food in the brutal winter. But here's what makes reindeer absolute legends, the migration. Every year, some reindeer herds travel up to 5,000 kilometers. That's not a typo, 5,000 kilometers. That's roughly the distance from New York to Los Angeles and back. They make this journey in one of the harshest environments on Earth, through blizzards, across frozen rivers, dodging wolves and bears. And they do it for one reason, food. In summer, they head north to the coastal plains where the vegetation explodes into life. In winter, they retreat south to the forests where they can find shelter. This migration is so massive that from space, you can literally track the movement of hundreds of thousands of reindeer flowing across the tundra like a living river. Oh, and their hooves, engineering marvels. In summer, the pads are soft, giving them traction on wet ground. In winter, the pads shrink and the edges of the hooves become sharp, turning them into ice picks that can grip frozen terrain. Reindeer aren't just surviving the Arctic, they're conquering it, one epic journey at a time. If you could design an animal specifically to say, "I will not die," you'd create the muskox. This thing looks like it wandered out of the Ice Age, and honestly, it basically did. Musk oxen have been roaming the Arctic for hundreds of thousands of years, outlasting mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and countless other species that went extinct. What's their secret? That insane coat. Musk oxen have a 2-layer fur system. The outer layer is long, shaggy guard hairs that can reach almost to the ground, creating a curtain that blocks wind and snow. Underneath is kvyat, the softest, warmest wool on the planet. And I mean planet. Kvyat is 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. It's so valuable that people hand collect it when musk oxen shed, and it sells for hundreds of dollars per kilogram. With this armor, musk oxen can withstand temperatures that would kill almost any other large mammal. -50, no problem. Blizzard winds? Barely notice. But warmth isn't their only trick. When predators attack, usually wolves, muskoxen do something spectacular. They form a defensive circle, adults on the outside, calves protected in the center, massive horned heads facing outward. It's like a medieval shield wall made of muscle and fury. Wolves circle. They probe for weakness, but that circle doesn't break. Young muskoxen peek through the legs of the adults, learning that cooperation isn't just smart, it's survival. The muskox isn't the biggest or fastest animal in the Arctic, but pound for pound, it might be the toughest. Coming in at number 3, the apex predator of the tundra's mammal world. The Arctic wolf is basically a grey wolf's hardcore older brother. Smaller, sure, but way more specialized. That thick white fur isn't just for camouflage. It's insulation against cold that would shut down a regular wolf's body in hours. These wolves live in places where almost nothing survives. The high Arctic, islands so remote and frozen that humans barely bother mapping them. In some regions, Arctic wolves don't see the sun for 5 months straight. They hunt in total darkness, in temperatures that make frostbite instant. And what are they hunting? Muskoxen, caribou, Arctic hares moving at 60 kilometers per hour. This isn't easy prey, this is warfare. Arctic wolf packs are smaller than their southern cousins, usually just 5 to 7 individuals, because the Arctic can't support huge groups. Food is too scarce, so every hunt matters. Every kill is the difference between survival and starvation. But here's what's incredible. Arctic wolves have learned to be patient. They'll follow a muskox herd for days, waiting for a calf to separate, waiting for an old bull to show weakness. When they find it, they strike with precision that would make a military unit jealous. And unlike wolves in other regions, Arctic wolves have almost no fear of humans because they've had so little contact with us. If you ever encounter one in the wild, it won't run. It'll just watch you with those pale eyes, curious, calculating. The Arctic wolf is a reminder that in the frozen north, intelligence and teamwork beat raw power every single time. All right, we're down to the final 2, and this spot might surprise you. The Arctic fox doesn't have the size of the muskox. It doesn't have the speed of the hare or the pack strength of the wolf. But what it has is pure, concentrated survival genius. First, the coat. In winter, the Arctic fox has the warmest fur of any mammal. Not just warm, the warmest. Its fur is so effective that Arctic foxes don't even start shivering until temperatures drop below -70 Celsius. -70. That's colder than the surface of Mars. But when summer arrives, boom, the white coat is gone, replaced by brown or grey fur that blends with the rocky, snow-free tundra. It's a complete wardrobe change twice a year. Now here's where Arctic foxes become legendary. They're scavengers, but not just any scavengers, they're strategic scavengers. Arctic foxes follow polar bears, waiting for the big predator to finish with a seal, then moving in to claim the leftovers. It's risky. One swipe from a polar bear could end them, but the reward is worth it. When bears aren't around, Arctic foxes are skilled hunters, taking down birds, fish, and small mammals with terrifying efficiency. They can cache food, too. In a single season, one fox can store hundreds of prey items in frozen underground larders, preparing for the lean times they know are coming. Adaptability, intelligence, resourcefulness. The Arctic fox is proof that size doesn't determine who survives, brains do. And here we are, number 1, the apex predator, the king of the Arctic, the polar bear. Let's start with the basics. Polar bears are the largest land carnivores on Earth. Males can weigh over 700 kilograms. That's heavier than 3 adult lions combined. When a polar bear stands on its hind legs, it can reach over 3 meters tall. That's NBA center height, except this center has claws the size of steak knives. But size is just the beginning. Polar bears are marine mammals. They're built for the sea ice with partially webbed paws that make them incredible swimmers. They can swim for days, covering over 100 kilometers in open ocean without rest. Their sense of smell is so acute they can detect a seal breathing through a hole in the ice from over a kilometer away. And hunting, it's an art form. Polar bears practice still hunting, where they wait motionless beside a seal's breathing hole for hours, sometimes days, in temperatures that would kill a human in minutes. When that seal surfaces for air, the bear strikes with explosive speed, yanking a 100-kilogram seal onto the ice like it weighs nothing. A single seal can provide a polar bear with enough calories to survive for over a week. But here's the terrifying part. When seals are scarce, polar bears have been known to hunt beluga whales, walruses, even small whales trapped in ice. They're not picky, they're opportunistic killing machines. But it's not all brutality. Polar bear mothers are devoted parents, nursing cubs for over 2 years, teaching them to hunt, to survive, to respect the ice that gives them life. The polar bear isn't just the king of the Arctic, it's the symbol of an entire ecosystem. Powerful, beautiful, and absolutely unmatched. 6 warriors, 6 strategies for survival. From the Arctic hare outrunning death at 60 kilometers per hour to the polar bear ruling the ice as the ultimate apex predator. The Arctic isn't just a frozen wasteland, it's a proving ground. And these animals, they're the champions. The frozen north has never been more incredible.